Hello, welcome back to my channel. Oh my days, I'm loud. There you go. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Yes, Nick will be on in 5 minutes. He just got home. He's running a bit late. My apologies. So let's get to chat here while we wait for the Nick to come on. Hello, Wim. Hello. Yeah, PSV 1-7 Arsenal. I think we're going to talk about that a bit later. I want to talk about Liverpool first, but we'll definitely talk about that. Your man got destroyed, bro. Noah Lang scored a goal, but yeah. Disgracia, guys. Disgracia. Real Madrid 2-1 Atletico Madrid. I was hoping to could get a draw from that, but you know what it is, yeah? Atletico Madrid is so good defensively, but going forwards, they're a bit dull sometimes. Sometimes, yeah? They defended a bit too much, I think. I think they're trying to take the game to the Metropolitano, which is fair, but it's a bit dull, so yeah. I'll talk with that with Nick as well when he comes on here. So yeah, big up to Da Silt. Nick is running late, as I said earlier, so go subscribe to him. He'll be on in a second. Yeah, I'll ask Nick when he comes on. The Bruges Derby predictions. I actually should open Twitter so I can see Nick's messages. Because he said he'll be on in 5 minutes. I don't know when, if he means like literally. Yeah, the Bruges Derby is coming up. While Nick is not here, let's talk about the Bruges Derby. Both Bruges teams have been shit recently. Club Brugge has 1 win in 5 in the last few league games. Champions League is done for the Club Bruges, so that was a disgrace, really, if you want to talk about that performance by Brugge. Brugge should be on points there, should be trying to get a goal. Give me a second. 1 second. I know I'm not on screen right now. Give me a second. I'll fix it. There we go. I'm back. There we go. Yeah, that's better. There we go. So yeah, Club Brugge really needs to start playing better. We're out of the Champions League. Hopefully, that means we're going to start playing a bit better. But too many points being dropped in silly ways and just not scoring enough, not being clinical enough, not making substitutions quickly enough. Like the manager, after 60 minutes, you need to be making substitutions. Like it's that simple. After 60 minutes, you should make substitutions. Can't wait all game long saying, yeah, we'll play with the same team all game. Like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. He needs to start making substitutions. I'm hoping then to win against Genk. Yeah, that's what we've come to. We're now hoping for wins from Dender, from other teams, to get us over the line, which is a bit sad. Yeah, Cercle Brugge do have Conference League, so let's hope they put a bit of strength into that. But they are just barely above relegation as well. So Cercle Brugge do have to pay attention here. Yeah, there's 2 games left. They're on 32 points. So if they get another win, I think they'll escape relegation. If they get 1 more win. Big up Nick, coming in late.
What's going on?
We were talking about the Bruges, like the Bruges Derby, not the game at Aston Villa.
Bruges.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair
yeah,
enough.
Say's getting injured at the worst time as well. But anyhow, big up Nick. You were late, but
Liverpool... Traffic, man. Traffic.
Traffic is annoying, isn't it? You know, recently in Belgium, there's like the trains, they all went on strike for 2 weeks. So, like university, I used to live in Bruges. I don't anymore. Now I live like 30 miles away from Bruges. So to get the man, and then you get on the highway, it's a bunch of traffic. Very annoying. But anyhow, you're playing against PSG later today. Well, for you it's going to be tomorrow. So
Yep.
You think you're going to win, I assume?
No, actually, I'm thinking it's going to be a draw. And if it is going to be a defeat, it's probably going to be a 1-goal defeat. Not sure. I think we might just have maybe just enough to see us through there. The tricky thing would be trying to stop their attackers, but then again, they have to try and stop our attackers as well. The only concern would be is how they play. If we're going to play like Man City and just hold back and let them have the ball, then spring on a counter attack, perhaps maybe that will work in our favor. But it all depends on how we're equipped and what we're doing, because they got players as well. They've got Neves, they've got Dembele, they've also got Kvaratskhelia now as well, and they still have. Yeah, they still have good players. Luis Enrique knows what he's got going on there. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be a straightforward game for us.
I've got from Jethead from Dacilt opinion on Twitter head loss.
No, it wouldn't be. No.
You've seen it?
No.
So let me give a bit of context here as well. So I was on Twitter and I saw a post from someone I never talked to before. I didn't know who he was. So I responded to Twitter just all night. He responds to me and he's like, "Bro, are you insane?" Now this guy is apparently watching my channel. I've never talked to this guy. So he's going like, "Bro, are you insane?" I think bro is just insulting me. So I have proper handles at this guy. Port C, big up C. We made up, don't worry, but I go all in on this guy. I'm like, "Why are you insulting me, you retard," and all of that shit. I went in on him.
As you do, because it's the internet. As you do those things. It's a normal thing to say to people. 100%. I don't. I'm not denying that. That's what I did. That's what it is, man.
Yeah, but to be fair, this is something people need to understand. If you watch a YouTuber, you're gonna know them. They're not gonna know you. Like you need to realize that you can't talk to a YouTuber the way you do to a friend, because they don't know you. Like I think a lot of people forget that. Like you might know them, they don't know you. But yeah, that's besides the point, isn't it? I actually think you should beat PSG today, because if I look at PSG, they're still invincible in Ligue 1. And PSG, I think, is going to want to stay invincible. They're going to win the league title. Like, obviously, they've got Ron away, Rene, however you pronounce it. And that's a tough game. Now, I don't think they're going to beat you over 2 legs. Like, there's no way of that. I think PSG might play a bit weak. Like, not saying they're going to put a weak lineup, but I think they might just play a bit fragile. And they might have, like, the league on their minds. They have much say as well after the second leg. And PSG in Europe just doesn't look very good. Like, obviously, they beat Brest 10-0, but that's like not the Ligue 1 team. In Europe, they haven't looked good, in my opinion.
Well, it's the thing with these French teams. Like people say, oh, it's the French league, Farmers League and all of that. And, do PSG actually have proper competition to compete amongst them in the French league? Some will say yes, many will say no, because really, if it's not Lyon and Marseille are in trouble already, you've also got Lille, who have their moments. They don't really have that many clubs in the French league, as far as I know. I'm not claiming to be a French league expert or anything like that, but that's always been the case, where PSG, very good in France, but in Europe, they always falter because they come up against opposition that they're not used to playing week in, week out. Whereas Premier League, you can argue you've got multiple teams there: City, Chelsea, United, even, till now, still tough games. Arsenal, Tottenham, and these clubs like this in
Speaking
Germany.
Yeah. Prediction: Tottenham AZ Alkmaar tomorrow.
Oh, I don't know, man. I thought it would be a tight game between PSV and Arsenal. Boy, was I and many other people wrong. So I don't know. I think Tottenham should get the job.
Arsenal just has those one-off games where they're really good, but that's not consistent. Like Arsenal just, as last season you saw that as well when we won the 4th-peat. They had one or two games there in a row where they were banging in goals, but then it dries up. It's like really weird. Arsenal has been doing that the treble season as well. They had like 3 games where they scored a lot, and then it dried up again. So I feel like Arsenal does this every season, where they have a sudden big surprise, but they never do anything with it. Like they never.
That's what a lot of people were saying. They said, like, if they spread their goals across a few different games, it actually would have been better for them. 2 goals here, 3 goals there, 1 goal here, 2 goals there. They would have won their games instead of drawing or losing. And it's like they put all their eggs into this one basket. And pound them all against PSV. Now, in saying that, that's not to say that this is just a once and that's it. It's not going to happen again. It's only something for them to get giddy over and say, okay, we're in this now. If it ends up becoming a oh, we got 3 goals in the next game. Oh, we got 2 goals in this game. Oh, we beat United. Oh, we beat this. Oh, we beat that. And you get momentum running that way.
Well, the league title is done for them. I think they're going to start.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, that would mean we would need to fail and lose our games. They would need to win their games. And without strikers just yet, I mean, next week they can rest. They don't need to play a full-strength team. They can rotate a whole squad if they want to.
Play devil's advocate here. I think Merino has actually been... I'm not going to say he's good enough as striker, but I think he's a decent backup striker. He's not good enough as a starting striker, so...
Oh, he's not even a striker, but like there's no denying he has done something for them. It's like when you just put someone up front, like we can't do any worse at the moment. Let's throw him in there. Otherwise, which other players would they have decided to put into the mix? Who else would they have played in a striker's role?
Merino plays striker better though than Havertz. Like Merino's runs are better than Havertz.
You reckon he gets more involved? Is what you're saying?
Maybe off the ball, he does the job of a striker better than Havertz does. I think
that's what I mean. Yeah,
maybe a bit off the ball, they're maybe a bit similar, or on the ball, but off the ball, I think Merino is just a better striker. And again, he's not good enough as a starting striker, and that's what his starting position. But it's funny that Arsenal's best striker is someone who isn't actually a striker.
Yeah, it's funny when that works. And look, he's not a he's not a striker. Obviously, we all know that. Now, as rivals, we might have a laugh or we mock him and we laugh and say, bro, you're playing Mikel Merino, who was signed to be a midfielder, hasn't really found his place in the midfield. Oh, let's throw him up front because we have nowhere else to play him. It's almost like the Darwin Nunez conundrum for us. Sign him as a striker, can't play him as a striker. Where can we put him? I'll put him false 9 or put him on the left wing or something, wherever we're in an emergency type of thing. It's one of those plays, and when it works, it works. It seems to be working. The only concern is, are they going to be able to score goals with their midfielders and the defenders against the Man United team, who are in the shit, let's be real here. But again, at Old Trafford, they've only won there once in the last, 10 visits or something? So they don't have the most happiest of hunting grounds. Yeah, so they don't have the most happiest of hunting grounds there. So, like, everyone's made the jokes, like, all 7-1. Like, let's be real, congratulate them, because 7 goals in a game is mad. Doesn't matter who you're playing against. And your bag is 7 goals. You conceded 1, fair enough. Could have conceded 2. And don't forget, PSV hit the post before they scored their first goal. Literally in that same phase of play. They hit the post, they count, they went on the other end, and then they ended up scoring through Timber in the first half. Literally after that post hit. So it could have gone very, very differently. If PSV went 1-0 up, I still would have thought Arsenal would have won the game. I don't know if it would end up being a 7-1. But are they going to be able to go up against the Man United team, who defend deeper, low block, compact themselves, and have Arsenal trying to break it down? They couldn't do it against West Ham. They couldn't do it against Nottingham Forest. They did against PSV, who are not that great of a team at the moment, missing some players as well. And now it all comes down to United.
Lately thrown away the Eredivisie title. Like, I follow Eredivisie a bit. They were 10 points up at some point. Now they're 8 points behind.
There's a guy called Michael. He's got a channel called Michael Talks Football. He had a tweet up, I think, the other week. He said PSV were absolutely cruising. They were 8 or 9 points ahead, and that was on match day 15. Now on match day 25 or 26, they're now like 8 or 9 points behind. It's crazy how they've absolutely that's a collapse. That's a collapse.
That's like if Liverpool and Arsenal now finish second and third to Man City. That's the level of collapse we're talking about.
Yeah, that's losing multiple games and the team in second winning multiple games.
I think that's what we're talking about. I might be wrong. This is off memory, but I think they had a run of 8 games in the league where it was draws and losses. Like, imagine Liverpool 8 games in a row, either drawing or losing.
Yeah, that's not. I can't see that happening. Even the biggest Liverpool hater would say they can't see that happening. Maybe a drop of points here or there, maybe a draw or a loss on the cards, but not to say 8 games consecutively, draw, loss, or whatever it's going to be. Very rare. So, it's just one of them things. Focus comes down to us, to United, for them now on the weekend, because they need to win this game. They've had a consecutive run of draws in the league, or had a loss, draw, and now they need something here, because we're playing Southampton, and I think I've just seen Southampton have sacked their coach. what's his name, Juric. I think they've just sacked him now, so they're playing us. And look, they're a team in all sorts at the moment. Ivan Juric, so sacked apparently before they play us on Saturday. So if we win that game, which we should, we go 16 points, and then it's down to Arsenal to make something happen, either get the win or get the draw, and try and keep within some touching distance with us. Because if there's a loss at Old Trafford, I don't think there will be. I think United are just that shit. They couldn't muster up a win if they tried. But if there's a loss there for Arsenal and it's 16 points, then I think everybody's saying like just wrap it up already. Like just be done with it. It's a stretch too far.
I think Man City has the last 10 games for the Man City are easy. I'm not sure what Liverpool's last 10 Premier League games are like.
Nah, we've got some pearlers coming up.
So you've got Southampton. You should win that, but
yes,
you should have beaten some other teams as well. Everton,
yes.
So yeah, that's a derby.
Yep.
Fulham away you should win. West Ham at home you should win. Leicester away you should win. Tottenham, Chelsea, Arsenal, Brighton away, and then Crystal Palace to end the season on. I mean, how many points are you clear? 10, 11?
13 at the moment.
Yeah, 13. I mean, even if you lose those 3 games, I still think you win the league title.
That's what I'm saying.
That's how far you are.
That's the thing. That's the thing. That's the trick, though, is trying to make sure that we don't do anything mad. Obviously, Tottenham coming to Anfield is one thing. Got to get through a PSG first in the first leg, see what happens there, and then that'll probably determine where we go moving forward. Because if we get a very bad result, let's say we lose 2-0 or 3-0, for example, then I think the tie is near done. And everyone's going to say, oh, but remember Barcelona. Okay, we remember Barcelona, but we had no Firmino and no Salah in that game. So we have Salah in this game. We don't have a Firmino, but we've got other players that have sort of like come to the fray. So it's going to rely on a lot of our current squad to make it happen at Anfield if that is the case. If it's a 1-goal game, like let's say we win 1-0, or if it's a 2-1 win for PSG, I think we're still in within a chance. More than 2 goals, that might be a bit of a stretch, depending on if they get a goal as well. So that's for me. But
this is the thing. PSG, if they get like a 2-goal lead, they will go to Anfield completely trying to shut you down. And if you want to, like Liverpool has a big problem going forwards, I think, which is if you want to stop Liverpool from going forwards effectively, you try to get Salah out of the game, because he's really the only like creative and goal-scoring threat from Liverpool. I think some others in there, Gakpo can score a goal, but consistently, it's Salah. So if you can take Salah out of a game, Liverpool will probably still score, but it will be 1 goal. If you have a 2-goal lead on aggregate, okay, Liverpool might win 1-0. It's not enough. So I think they can very much so just defend deeply, put 2 people on Salah at all times, and completely take you out of the game if they have a 2-goal lead. Doing that at a 1-goal lead is very risky, though. Dalsilt asks, why aren't you talking about Man City? We're out of Champions League, Nate.
Alf, why?
Do you remember Simon Mignolet? Asked someone in chat. I reckon he does.
Of course, I remember Simon Mignolet saved the penalty on his debut for us. A good shot stopper, but very suspect with the ball at his feet. I remember very well. Did well for us for what he was. I think at Sunderland, he was a decent goalkeeper. I think we got him from Sunderland. I do remember Suarez scoring past him, though.
The big problem with Mignolet is he's an old school goalkeeper who came through the old system, who had goalkeepers really comfortable with the ball in their feet. If Mignolet was 2 or 3 years younger and had gotten that difference, because if you don't know, it was a big change in how the Belgian academy system worked around the time when Mignolet was starting to go into the academy. If he was 2 or 3 years younger, he would have been through the new system and he would have been a lot more comfortable with the ball in his feet, but he doesn't have that skill set. Feyenoord, Inter Milan, prediction. I think Inter will win 1-2.
Yeah, I don't see Feyenoord getting anything out of this game, unfortunately. I think Inter, even away from home, they just know how to get the job done. They just know that Inzaghi sets up his team as he does. I know Footy Judge Mo, as you probably know Footy Judge Mo as well, big Inter fan. If you want to watch, okay, I'm not the biggest fan of watch-alongs. People know this. But if you want to watch a watch-along and be thoroughly entertained, watch Footy Judge Mode, because this guy will scream and shout and cuss down anything relating to Inter Milan or the opposition, bro. Any mistouch of a ball, he's on their case. Referee gives a free kick that he thinks is soft, he's cussing out the referee, bro. It's hilarious. But in saying that, I do think Inter still will win this game. I just don't see how Feyenoord will do anything unless Feyenoord have a masterclass and shut out Inter. I think Inter just have too much for them, even with the likes of having, Thuram and Martinez, or Arturo as people call him, and you've also still got the likes of Mkhitaryan to come off a bench and shit like that. Even though
All
the players these days,
but those players, like, this is something not enough people talk about. Inzaghi has never really had a monster budget. He's had a big budget, of course, because all big teams do. But like, if you compare it to Man City, if you compare it to Liverpool, even Arsenal, he's never had that big of a budget. But he gets these players in, and he gets players like Martinez when he came into Inter. These are players that are not half as good as they are now. Like, people were not talking about these players as highly as they were when Inzaghi first got them. Take Martinez. Martinez was hated by Internazionale fans when Inzaghi first arrived. Now Martinez is like, the red Ballon d'Or talks about him last season. This guy has insane ability to improve players. I look at Bastoni. Okay, Bastoni, talented player. He's only as good as he is because he's played under Inzaghi for so long, I think. I don't think enough people respect this guy's ability to improve players. I think he's a mad good coach, Inzaghi. Maybe manager, you can only know once they get like the big money. But as a coach, he's mad, and he's already gotten to the final in the Champions League. I think his side of the bracket is fortunate. He's going to have his first real challenge against Barcelona in the semi-final. If he gets past that, I think he's winning the Champions League. Now he's going to win the Serie A. He's currently he's looking like he's going to go into the final of the Cup. He plays against AC Milan, I believe. So get into that Cup final. There could be a treble loading for Internazionale. Not saying it will happen, but like, they are actually on course for a treble right now.
I think they already lost against. I think they already lost to Inter in something recently, didn't they? Like a couple of months ago. Yeah, the Super Cup. So that they lost. Yeah, 2-1 there. There it is. There in the ISA. Yeah, I see it there. Where was it? It wasn't that long ago, was it? Monaco 3-2. Whatever it was. Anyways, yeah. Look, they got players in their team. There's no denying that they got some players there. Play 3-5-2, so they obviously play a defensive line and they make it out there. So Bastoni, Barella going in there. If Arturo is on song, they could bag some goals. Maybe Thuram might do something. Dumfries as well on the wing there. It all depends.
Like, they have like at least 7 players who can score a goal.
But they don't score many goals. This is the thing. In the Champions League, at least.
Well, in the league, they scored a bit more, but they're not a goal-scoring side. But what they do is they score 1 or 2 goals, then they defend. Then they just defend, and they really conserve energy that way as well. But they're really good defending. But they have so many different goal scorers in that team. Like, as you said earlier, you said Thuram, Martinez, they scored goals. Darmian scores occasionally. Barea can score the big goals. Çalhanoğlu has scored big goals before. They've got goal scorers in that team.
They do. It just depends on who's going to turn up for them and if they get the chances, because even I've seen sometimes they've had mad chances created and mad chances missed as well. But just looking at the results here, they had the 0-0 against City. They beat Crvena Zvezda 4-0 at home. They beat Young Boys 1-0 away. They beat Arsenal 1-0 at home, 1-0 against Leipzig, 1-0 they lost to Bayer Leverkusen. They beat Sparta Prague 1-0, and they beat Monaco 3-0 in the last round there. So they can score some goals here and there, but most of them have just been 1-0s, and that's down to their defense. They have one opportunity, they take it and they defend. So I don't know, maybe someone who watches the Dutch league more, like, Wim says, a final 2-0 to Inter. I mean, maybe they know something that I don't know when it comes to final. Then, like, from a hand,
Feyenoord got a new manager, and It's like new manager hype, but
New manager bounce. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
yeah,
I still
don't
back
think.
Inter. I back Inter even over 2 legs. I back Inter to go through in this round here. To be honest with you.
Yeah. Prediction: Club Brugge, Anderlecht in the Belgian Cup. Well, the last time we played in the Belgian Cup, we beat them. So they have not beaten us in the Belgian Cup in 10 years.
Well, it has to be Bruges then.
Yeah, they've not beaten us in the cup in 10 years. I just realized that. Since the final of gold, they've not beaten us in the Belgian Cup. Big up to the final, ex-Anderlecht. Scored the goal in the final against them. Big up to him. So yeah, currently, if we're looking at Champions League, all the games that happened, we already talked about Arsenal a bit. Bruges against Aston Villa. What are your thoughts? Because I'm about to go off.
I just saw the result. I actually thought that maybe Bruges playing at home might get a result there. I did not expect a 3-1 loss at home to Aston Villa, to be honest with you. I mean, you're the Bruges fan here. You tell me, what were your thoughts?
So the manager, okay, first half was good. Unfortunate goal, that first goal, like it was just a really good set piece. And the equalizer was very good football. Zoli's back from suspension, gets the ball in to the Kuiper, and okay, we're playing good. Second half, we're just starting to fall back a bit. And this is the same thing that happened against Fiorentina in the semi-final of the Conference League. This manager gets scared when he plays against teams in Europe. He gets scared when he plays against big-name teams. That's what happened. We got scared and we fell back too much. Our top scorer was on the bench until the 85th minute, Gustav Nielsen. Now, I don't rate him. I think he's a very clumsy striker. However, you're chasing a goal, and he's on the bench until the 85th minute. That is unreal. Like, that is simply unreal to me. I think Jutla had a very poor game. Again, purple patch played. 1 week he's insane. The next week, yeah, just no. Talby had a poor game. Sikwe, I wanted to see Sikwe on because he's not as fast as Talby. So maybe you're like, okay, we want pace because we want to break. But Talby, he can't score. Like, no matter how many chances he gets, he can't score. And he scored 2 against Atalanta. Okay, fair. So he had 1 good game. Do you know how many tap-ins he's missed this season? It's ridiculous. I think he missed...
Is he on Darwin Nunez levels?
Yeah, he's that level of bad.
Okay, that's bad.
He's missed like 5 tap-ins this season. Like 5 tap-ins in 3 games. He's not scored in any of those 3 games. Like this guy, yeah. Okay, he runs fast. He gets into the box. He gets chances. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter that he gets chances because he doesn't score any of them. So okay, he gets chances. Congratulations. I'd rather have Skov Olsen back, who loses the ball 10 times a game, but he gets 1 chance, he scores 1 chance. I'd rather have that back, but we sent Skov Olsen off, we sold him to Wolfsburg, we didn't get a replacement in, because the manager said, yeah, I trust in Talby, and I trust in Sikwe. Well, if you trust in Sikwe, why has he played like 3 games all season?
Yeah, it's that thing with it doesn't make sense. Yeah, we back this player, we back him to do the business, and you're giving him nothing but bare minutes. Like, what's the point of saying you back X player when you're not giving him an opportunity? It doesn't make sense.
You know what's wild as well? We had a game against Westerlo. It was an insane game against Westerlo. Sikwe scored a goal from outside of the box. It was a pure screamer. If I can find it, yeah, I'll send you the link after the stream, but this guy came off the bench, scored that, then he has not gotten any chances after that. Like, it's mental how we just have these players, yeah, who all of them are technically capable. They have technical ability, but this is the thing I've been saying for so long. Football is not about technical ability. It's not about passing. It's about who gets the most goals at the end of the day. Your technically gifted players are there for a reason. They're there to hold on to the ball, to get the ball into the box and all of that. If everyone is technically gifted, but no one can score a goal, everyone is worthless. That's the thing. A machine is made out of multiple components. You can't make a car work by having 5 engines. You have an engine, and you have other parts in it as well. You can say, okay, the engine is the most important part, Okay, now have 5 engines and no other parts. Well, your car drives.
It
It won't.
can't do anything. No wheels, no chassis, no steering, no nothing. Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere.
So that's a problem we've been having. Too many technically gifted players, and I would absolutely kill to have Denki at the club right now. Denki was a player at Cercle Bruges, so we bought Sique from Cercle Bruges, and we bought Gustav Nielsen from Union Saint-Gilloise. Now there's a fullback, like a fullback winger kind of at Union called Casco Montes, and he's better than Sique in my opinion. So we should have bought him, and instead of buying Sique from Cercle Bruges, we should have bought Denki. But Denki is off to the MLS now. Gustav Nielsen has had one good season in his career when we bought him. Denki was Belgian top scorer for like 3 seasons at a relegation club. At a relegation club, you know. Know how mental that is. Imagine if Liam Delap was top scorer in the Premier League.
It's funny though. It's like, how many times have we seen players in lower teams in relegation for the teams be bagging goals week in, week out? And it makes you wonder, like, how are you top goal scorer of the league? You're either scoring this many goals as an individual player and your defense is conceding more than what you're scoring, obviously. But the sheer fact that you're scoring 20 plus goals a season and you're in the team in the bottom 3 clubs. That's crazy. It reminds me of like Kevin Phillips from Southampton from years ago. He always seemed to be like fighting relegation somehow, but he's always one of the top goal scorers. It's mad to see things like that. It does happen though. It just depends. Does that mean that the player is of high quality at the club that's in this relegation form, or does it mean that there's something else that's a factor at play? Like, I can't see why a player who is poor scoring that many goals. You have to be a good player if you're playing in a team that's in a relegation.
Oh, Rem, I would love to have Liam Delap at Brugge. He would score for fun. Like, imagine Liam Delap on the end of crosses from the Kuipers and saves. He would be scoring every game. Imagine if we had Igor Thiago together with saves. Like this guy, yeah, we got Joaquin Says now, young player coming through the academy. If we had Igor Thiago this season, Igor Thiago would have double the goals he had last season. He is like Trent. He's not as good as Trent, but he's very similar to Trent. Maybe a bit more defensive, but crossing is really good. And I think Joaquin Says, if he develops a bit more physicality, he can go to the Premier League and actually be a big player in the Premier League. I think he's one of our next big academy products, because in our academy, the only big names we've really created is Thomas Meunier, like at least in my lifetime, Thomas Meunier, Openda, the Ketelaar, I guess, and that's it. So yeah, I think Joaquin Says is one of the best players I've seen come through our academy. He's Thomas Meunier level good. I think he can actually go play for a big team. Delap and Thiago together won't make sense. They're like the same type of striker. But yeah, let me share my screen quickly. I'm not going to share it with the stream, but just with Nick to show the goal that I'm talking about. Can you see that?
It's coming on screen now. Just loading up. Yeah, got it here.
Yeah. So this guy off the bench, this is his first touch of the game. He's not had another chance since. Another chance since. That's his first touch of the game.
Okay. That's a crazy hit. That's a big goal for the first hat. Like, people that can't see, basically took it at the edge of the box and just hit like an R1 finish like in FIFA. And I don't know if it took a deflection, but just went all the way into that back post. But it was a good finish.
Yeah, how has this guy not gotten chances since? I don't get that. He also scored.
That's like Darwin. He'll score you a banger, and then he gets you nothing 10 games in a row, man. That's our plight.
He also scored a bang at the end. Well, a penalty. It was saved, but he scored the rebound on the penalty. So we won that game 4-3 then. He scored the winner. And he's also got a single game since then. They were just like, you've got new games. I don't get it. I'm
telling you, bro. It's like what happens to Darwin at Liverpool as well. He got 2 goals against Brentford and nothing since. He got himself a goal against, was it Bournemouth at home? I think it was like early rounds of the season. And then he did nothing for that. Like, hits the post, over the crossbar, saved off the line, miss an open goal. I'm just like, bro, how can one player be this poor in front of goal with the opportunities presented to them? Like, they're literally there in front of you. Just put your foot on the ball and it's going into the back of the net. This guy skies it over the crossbar, hits the post, keeper saved, out wide. I don't understand, man. Some players are just cursed, maybe.
Yeah, it's very frustrating to know you have someone who can score that goal, but he's on the bench for what's equivalent of Darwin Nunez. Zolis need to bang again for you lot. Yeah, Zolis has been shit as well recently. And Zolis is another scoff also. Comes into the league, he's incredible, then he's like, oh yeah, I'm too good for this league. I want to move to a bigger club. Which you get a lot, by the way, in the Belgian league and Eredivisie. That's the thing that football has kind of been ruined with money in that way. When teams like Club Brugge get players like Scott Olsen, they're way too good for the Belgian league. Like, you can tell the moment they arrive, they're too good for this league. And they realize that after like 5 months, generally, like 5-6 months, they're like, I'm too good for this league. And then they stop caring. They stop playing. And they're like, yeah, I just want to move to a bigger team. And it's funny because those players never get a move to the bigger team. It's a player who stop trying that never get that move. Because you know what thing is, yeah? Big coaches will watch those games where they stop trying, where they think they're too good, and they'll be like, I don't want this guy in my team. He's got attitude problems.
They stop trying. They stop playing. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Like, I just don't understand the mentality of some of these players. Like, I mean, to each their own, I suppose, but players need...
No, I hear you, because when you see a player go into a new league or a different club that they've moved over somewhere and they have a great start, and you can see they just like taper off. It's like, I'm scoring goals for fun. Why am I here? Why do I care about this? And it's like, oh, we can use them somewhere else. And the question is going to be, yeah, but look at their attitude. Look at them sulking. That they don't want to be there. What if it doesn't work out for this new team that they go to, or the new club that they play for? What if it doesn't work out for them? Then what happens? You're going to have the same attitude problem.
Yeah.
Similar thing can be said for like Jadon Sancho, for example. A City graduate.
Absolutely.
You know, poor attitude. That's why he got sold to Dortmund. Okay, he was at Dortmund. Man United bought him. Poor attitude again. Didn't apply himself. Whatever. Went to Chelsea. Chelsea again. Went back to Dortmund. Yeah, he had attitude problems. I went back to United. Okay, yeah, now I've gone to Chelsea, and now he's not doing anything on the pitch there. Like, some players are just like that.
Yeah, and like on the thing from Man City, because we have a lot of players that leave the academy, and people are like, oh, but why are these players not being used? Like Cole Palmer, why do we let them go? Cole Palmer is maybe a bad example because he wanted to leave, but like Jadon Sancho, a better example. The most important part about being a City player is mentality. Like, that's what a lot of people miss, I think. Pep Guardiola wants players who are smart. Doku, for all his faults, is a smart player. For all his faults, he's smart. Pep Guardiola values that above technical ability. Because he wants a system. He wants his system to work. And a lot of people need to get into that mindset. Football is a team game. What you do off the ball is equally important as what you do on the ball. And if on the ball you're great, doesn't mean you're a good footballer. And contrary, a lot of great footballers on the ball are terrible off the ball. And that doesn't work anymore in modern football. And people will then use the example of Lionel Messi, which is dumb, because off the ball, Lionel Messi was very good. Lionel Messi would walk into positions, get the ball, and then on the ball, what are you going to do? It's Lionel Messi. So players needs to be good off the ball. If you look at Erling Haaland, what he does best for Man City, other than scoring, it's not what he does on the ball. It's not his passing, which is very good, by the way. I don't know why it's this myth that he's not a good passer. Dribbling-wise, it's not great, but what he does best is off the ball. His runs. You look at Doku's goal earlier this season. Haaland makes a run, defender backs away from Doku to follow Haaland. Now Doku has all the space in the world to shoot, and he scores. That's what Haaland does. Goals like that. Foden, he lays the ball off into Foden. 2 players out on Haaland. Foden gets to go through on goal and scores. I believe that was against Aston Villa. I don't remember who it was against. That's the type of stuff And people will always favor a technical ability because it looks better. But technical ability, like, this is my thing here. Technical ability is important in football, especially for the wingers. I want very technically gifted wingers. But when people always like focus on that, I'm like take Lee Gunner for example, and big up to Lee Gunner. I like his content, but when he says like Cristiano Ronaldo is not one of the best footballers in history, well, yes, he is, because okay,
look at what he's done.
His technical ability may not be like, let's be honest, technical ability, Cristiano Ronaldo is not top 50. There's so many footballers with insane technical ability. Take Marcelo from Real Madrid. His technical ability, his first touch, everything was unreal. But he was nowhere near as good as Ronaldo. Because all round, he wasn't the player Ronaldo was. And football is a team sport. You might say, okay, put them in a 5-a-side. Football is not played 5-a-side. It's 11-a-side. And the best footballers are those who can be the best in a 11-team game. Erling Haaland, you play with a counter-attack, he will run fast and he will get a ball, he will get a goal. You play with a deep block, he will absorb pressure in the box, he will drag players away, and he'll still score goals. That is more important than, okay, he can do a fancy trick once that leads to nothing. That's the thing, yeah. So many people focus on the wrong parts of football.
The technical players, aesthetic merchants. Oh, but he's very good on the ball. Okay, but like, where's the end product? Like people say, it's the whole thing of like, okay, who like Saka? All Saka does is, cross the ball in and gets an assist and a goal. Okay, so what else do you want from him then? I want him to dribble more. I want him to take on a player more. But why does he need to do that if he can just do the simple things? I don't like. If I don't have to dribble past 3 players to put a cross in, and I can put a cross in some other way, why won't I just do that? Might not look as great on the eye. Maybe I'm not going to be doing anything that's too fancy, but I'm still going to do what I need to do as a winger. And wingers have changed these days. Winger used to get an assist here and there, score a goal here and there. Now the way we play football, teams bomb down the middle, they go out wide to the wingers, and the wingers cut in and they cross it in and try and get an assist, or try and play off a 1-2 and try and score a goal themselves. That's why we look at wingers now and says, oh, he's a great winger, but how many goals does he score? How many assists does he get? Didn't used to be the conversation 10 years ago. They didn't used to be the conversation.
We used to have 4-4-2, so you didn't really have wingers the way you have wingers now. Like 4-4-2, they were more midfielders than wingers. Like when you say Ryan Giggs, like when people talk about Ryan Giggs is the best winger in Premier League history, well, he's not even a winger, he's a midfielder. He's a right midfielder. So it's a completely different system. Like when people compare Ryan Giggs to Salah, okay, Salah will not be good in a 4-4-2, but Ryan Giggs will not be good in a 4-3-3.
I don't see him running down that wing that way.
And entirely different players. So it's weird comparisons. That's why I don't like comparing players who played in different eras. Like when people ask me Diego Maradona or Messi. Well, first of all, I've not watched Diego Maradona. I'm not that old. But second of all, the rules of football were different, right? Like
everything was different. Rules were different. Pitches were different. Balls were different. Play was different. Rules were different as well. Everything changes, bro. It's like comparing TV in the 60s is better than TV in the 2020s. How? What are we talking about? The TVs themselves or the quality of the programming? Like football was better in the 60s. Okay, how was it better? Did you have better skill players, or was it more entertaining? Was it actual ballers on the pitch who you dribble past a couple of players and put one into the top bins? Or we're looking at the aesthetics parts.
Have you ever played with an old ball? Like with one of the 1950s ball? Have you ever played with one of those?
Oh no, that shit was heavy as, bro. Full leather, bro. Imagine kicking that thing around.
Yeah, have you ever played with one?
No. I know what it feels like. I've gone to museums before. No, I would not want to kick a ball like that.
We played like one game, one full 90 game with them. My feet were sore, bruv. And they used to have like different shoes, because with the modern football shoes, you cannot kick a ball like that. You cannot kick a ball with that with modern boots. They're too thin. The old boots were a lot thicker. And like people like look at videos from Di Stefano and they're like, this guy is not a baller. Like look at how heavy his touch is. Look at how he moves the ball. Why is everyone laying off? Everything you need to understand, 2 people kick a little ball at the same time. You're both hurting. Nowadays, you both kick on a ball. Okay, you can move on. That ball, You both click on that, you're both down. You're both down on the ground holding your foot. Those balls are so different to play football with. You would not really try to get a ball off of a plate after you took a first touch, because you just hurt yourself. You try to get the ball off of them while they're dribbling or while they're passing it. Back in that time, players played in a 1-3-3 because the offside rule was different. Back then, the offside rule was not when the pass was given, but when you arrived to the ball. The offside rule was different. So, of course, everything worked completely different. When we talk about Peely, I mean, Peely, when he played, they still played with 1-3-3. Imagine 1-3-3 in modern football. That doesn't make sense, does it?
They used to do like WM formations and playing a sweeper and then 3 defenders, and that's all changed now. You can't play the same way. Football is always the overall thing remains the same. Put this ball into that goal, and put it in there more often than the opposition. That's it. The way you play, the tactics, formations, styles of play, the players themselves, the equipment, the pitches. I mean, shit. Look at the pitches in the 70s. You're playing on mud paddocks, like it was wet, muddy, soggy. I remember used to see the middle of the pitch would be nice and lush, and then both goalkeeper ends would just be like muddy as hell, like just like
still have that
dug
on
up
the
everywhere, bro.
Pictures.
Yeah, now it's proper, it's lush. Shit's got like heating underneath and irrigation and everything else like that. Like it's so advanced. Like, and just like the quality of the ball plays a difference. The pitch style plays a difference. The boots play a difference. Everything is different nowadays. The science has changed completely, man. But yeah, I got to head off soon, but you go on.
I guess to close off on 10, prediction Ajax Frankfurt.
Ajax taking on Frankfurt. That's in the Europa League, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look. All right, well, hang on. Let's do this real quickly. Okay, let me go just
let's just go through
check out the games. All right, so Feyenoord Inter. I don't do scores, but I think Inter will win that game. Munich and Leverkusen. I'm going to go for a draw in that game, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Benfica hosting Barcelona. This will be an interesting game here. Barca have been in some good form, but Benfica have been solid themselves. I think Barcelona edged this game. And for PSG Liverpool, I actually think it's going to be a draw. That's 1-1. My prediction there. I think a 1-1 or we lose narrowly 2-1. I'm thinking it's going to be like a draw or a 2-1 loss for Liverpool. That's my thoughts there. I just don't know how we're going to go up against the wingers there. Hey, by some way, if we end up winning this game 1-0, even if it is, I'm not going to be complaining. I'm going to be more than happy with that.
And then Europa League, Real Sociedad.
Yeah, in terms of the Europa. Sociedad versus United. I know they got Pam the other day, but Manchester United are Manchester United.
I think
and they're playing away from home.
2-1 to Real Sociedad.
Yeah, I could see Sociedad getting a win in this game. Again, I don't know what the score would be, but I could definitely see Sociedad getting something out of this game. So I'll probably say Sociedad for that game there. You asked before Alkmaar versus Tottenham.
Yeah.
It's I think Alkmaar get a win in that game. I don't know. Tottenham will probably be very different when they play back home again. Fenerbahce versus Rangers is interesting.
Yeah, I think Fenerbahce will win. Rangers have just not been good.
Yeah, it sounds like it's got the makings of like a fiery game. I'd love to see what the return leg at Rangers is going to be like. I reckon that'd be awesome.
I think 4-3 Fenerbahce.
4-3 Fener. Okay, that's a big high-scoring game. And then Ajax Frankfurt. I don't know. Ajax leading the league at the moment. Frankfurt. I don't know. I'll probably say Ajax in that game there. Bodo Glimt and Olympiacos. I don't know. Maybe a draw. Roma Athletic Club. I don't know where either club are at in this season so far.
Athletic Bilbao has been really good this season. They were in a 4-way title race until recently in La Liga.
Yeah, maybe. I just don't know where Roma sit in the league.
Roma
obviously they got one of the Williams brothers there.
I believe Roma is currently 9th, 8th. They're 8th right now. Yeah, they're not good.
I mean, they got both Williams brothers got Inaki and they got Nico Williams as well. A lot of people looking at them. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Athletic might be able to do something. And then I think Lazio are going to beat Victoria Pleasant.
Um, uh, I think Athletic Bilbao will win like 1-3. I think they'll absolutely destroy Roma. I think Bilbao is winning the Europa League. I think Bilbao will win it because it's out of
Yeah.
the La Liga title race now. I don't think they're in the cup anymore, but they will be top 4 probably. So I think they'll just go into Europa League here and they'll win it. As for
It's.
the Conference
I was
League,
gonna. Yeah.
I don't
Oh
really
yeah, I
care
forgot
about
about
the
that.
games there. I don't really care about the Conference League games to be honest, but I do think that in Conference League, probably Fiorentina will win it because Chelsea is dropping off too much, and Fiorentina is just like, I don't rate English football, by the way. I think English football teams get cooked too often in Europe.
Well,
For the rest of the whole city.
I do have a point on that actually. Before we finish, I do have a point to actually mention on that, which you might find interesting. But yeah, Chelsea. I mean, away to Copenhagen, they should win that game.
Yeah.
And as you said, Fiorentina also in the mix there too. So yeah, Fiorentina in with a chance. There's no other team on there that really stands out for one of the big guns. It's at the moment you're really looking at Chelsea, and if it's not Chelsea, then Fiorentina comes in at a second place. But I'm trying to see, would they? So okay, well the good thing is that Fiorentina can't take on Chelsea, so that's a good thing there. So there is a chance that Fiorentina do take on Chelsea in a final if it does come to that.
Yeah.
What I was going to say about the English teams was, it's funny how, like me, I look and say, like, can Liverpool win the Champions League? Yes, we can. Are our chances high?
Liverpool is,
even though we finished first.
Already. Liverpool is the only really good team in England right now.
Well, I was going to say, like, looking at us, obviously league position and where we finished in the Champions League formats, you'd probably say, yeah, we're outright favorites, finishing first and all that sort of stuff there. All right, cool, fair enough. But I don't say it's Liverpool or bust. I still think that there is a chance where a Barcelona can win it, an Inter can win it, an Atletico can win it. There are still other teams in there. We think there are some other teams that are decent. And when you're looking at Europa League, the quality goes down a little bit. And I know Tottenham fans and Man United fans, I've heard them both respectfully say, well, we're favourites for the Europa League because they don't rate any other team in the Europa League. They don't rate the Spanish teams. They don't rate any other team that's from the other leagues as well. But just go back here and see who it was. But that's what I'm saying. They don't watch them, so they don't know what they're about. So they think, well, it's just us. Like they don't look at Lyon that way. They don't look at Real Sociedad or Ajax or Lazio even. So there are other teams there that are actually, on the favorable side. So it is naive of English, English team fans to say, well, my team is favorites and that's that. It's like that. There are other teams there that could get the better of you. And even for Liverpool, hey, if we get knocked out by PSG, it is what it is. What am I supposed to say? Then people say, oh, you got knocked out by PSG. Yes, but we never said, fans like me never said we were outright favorites. Yeah, we finished first, but that doesn't mean that we are outright favorites because we ourselves know what our team is about. Could we go through? Yes. Could we make a final? Yes. Could we win it? Yes. But there's always a chance of there are other teams that might be better than you. And it's almost like a disrespect saying these teams are less than us and whatever. I don't know. I just think that we try and prop up Premier League clubs way too often, and we forget about other teams that are around the world as well. We only look at ourselves. We don't think about anybody else.
To end the stream off on here, final thing from Dasilt here. Inter, Real, and Barca are bigger favorites than Liverpool, he says, for the Champions League.
See, and people say, people say, Liverpool fan, playing it down type of thing, doesn't have chest, doesn't rate their team. So no, I rate the team, but I also know what we're capable of as well. I know the limitations. I know we can't always just go out there and play gung-ho football. We don't have wingers that zip up and down the wings like we used to every now and again. Yeah. We don't have a 25 a goal season striker because we don't play for striker. We play false nines, or we play with the striker who can't hit the damn ball and this guy's at wide and shit like that, or he's injured half the time, right? So we have to rely on our wingers and midfielders to chip in. In saying that, I do see that there is a real chance that Inter could make a final because they're on the other side of us and they could get through. They get through Feyenoord. They could also then potentially face Bayern Munich or Bayer Leverkusen, whoever it may be, beat them, and then they go on to another semi and then make a final, for example. Like, it's not beyond the realms. Real Madrid as well could do it. We've seen them do it time and time again. Yeah. They lose to some shit team, bang, they win the Champions League later on that campaign. Like this is why we say we need Real Madrid out first and foremost, and then we'll see what happens. I mean, shit, as much as we want to laugh, Arsenal in with a chance as well. Maybe it's not a big chance, but they're in with a chance nonetheless. There are teams that are in with chances. People only put Liverpool up there because of where we're at in the league so far this season, and because where we finished in the Champions League group stages.
Absolutely, I agree with everything said. And you have to go now, unfortunately. So thank you for coming on as always. Thank you to everyone for being in today, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Peace out.